Suicide affects the ongoing lives of friends, families, and communities as they come to terms with the tragic loss of a loved one. Worse, it prevents a life from continuing, and seeing that with support, things do get better. The Centre for Suicide Prevention states that Indigenous people in Canada have some of the highest suicide rates in the world. For World Suicide Prevention Day, we spoke to two professionals working to prevent suicide on how we can support loved ones in need. Carla Cochran has worked in mental health, suicide prevention, and life promotion for the last 15 years. She says to check in on someone if you notice they're going through a hard time by asking 3 questions. Are you feeling down? Are you feeling depressed? And are you having thoughts of suicide?
If you're going through a difficult time and you go to a friend or a family member, oftentimes they'll say like, well, you're strong, or don't even think about that, or you could do better, or else they'll give advice really quick. But often what people really want is someone to really truly hear them. So like listen to understand, not to fix, just to be there and be that listening ear.
She says mounting factors can lead someone to consider suicide, and sharing the mental load with them can help.
So if you imagine a cup, and sometimes it could be one event or it could be a series of events. If someone, say, lost their job, the cup fills up. If someone ended up getting into a fight with their friend, the cup fills up. Let's say someone didn't pass a course and then the cup overflows. I always say to a person is, for us, is to help empty that cup, to do something that's positive and healthy to help make yourself feel better. So it's important to empty that cup, but it's also important to connect with people.
Francine Douglas works for Sacred Circle, an Indigenous health and wellness organization in BC. She says personal experiences and also our collective history as Indigenous people can play a role in our mental health.
Our world can get really small when we're hurting and when we're in pain. And the one thing I always think about is how we're never really alone. Mm-hmm. And especially in our hurt and our pain. As a people, collectively, we've been through too much.
She says talking about suicide can feel scary, but it's important.
People are always afraid, or they get nervous if there's somebody that's talking about suicide. But I always think that when people are reaching out for help, you know, there's nothing to be afraid of in reaching your hand back. And giving them your hand and saying that it's okay. It's okay. The one thing I know I can do is sit here and be with you.
Douglas reaffirms that community and a sense of belonging can go a long way in feeling hopeful for the future. If you're dealing with suicidal ideation, Cochran says to think about how you might feel in the future.
Are you going to feel this way in a week? Are you going to feel the same way next year? You know, if you think about 5 years down the road, are you going to feel this way? Sometimes when people go through a difficult time, it's like they're going through a tunnel. They have tunnel vision. They don't see anything positive or helpful on the outside. They just have that focus of what's going on at that moment.
If you need someone to talk to, please reach out to the National Suicide Crisis Helpline at 988. Sav Jones, APTN National News, Winnipeg.